I'm Jason from Phase Shift Games. My daughter Lily is recording. Thank you,
Hello.
Lily. Darren and I are super proud of Dungeon Drop and kind of how it's all come about over this last year. It's been an amazing ride. And today I was elated to get in the mail 6 copies of Dungeon Drop straight from our factory in China. They said they were going to send the first carton, but I kind of had the sense that it was going to be delayed by a couple more weeks. Turns out it was ready, and she told me 2 days ago that it was shipping or shipped, and it came in super fast. So that's awesome, and we're going to show you tonight and show myself because I haven't seen what's inside the boxes myself. Really quick, if folks that are following along on the Dungeon Drop group on Facebook, other people are going to be trying to connect in, and they need to be granted membership to the group first. Anyone can grant membership. So if you see a little question or notification in your Facebook that someone's asked to join Dungeon Drop, please go ahead and do that. If someone can kind of do that along the thread, that'd be great because I can't do it while I'm live here. But that would be great if people could kind of check for that. And the last upfront announcement I just want to make is if you have things that you need to do with your order, if you have an address change, anything of that nature, send an inquiry into support@phaseshiftgames.com. We have it hooked up to a ticketing system now. It's all running nice and smooth. So anything at all that you need, send it into support@phaseshiftgames.com and we'll take care of you. With that, I am gonna get started. So there's a couple surprises tonight. The first is something you may have already kind of noticed, and that is what's on my table here in front of me. During the campaign, we were asked a lot to have some kind of a mylar or neoprene, I don't know what the material is called, but mat available for the game that would allow the cubes to bounce but not go crazy all over the place if you have a metal, wooden, or glass table. We said from the beginning that we weren't going to complicate the shipping of the games as part of the Kickstarter with a mat to go along with it. And that's still true. We're not. But I did promise that what we would do is test out different mats that we can get online, and we'll try some out and make one available that anyone can just go to a link that we'll provide and make a purchase. So we have done that. These are printed through the company that we love to work with, the Game Crafter. They're the same company that does prototypes. They do production games if you want to use their storefront. We've done that for other games in the past. And they're the company that will also print all of the things that you guys create using the Tinkerer's Toolkit that we launched. That's the company that you can put them online on their storefront, and then anyone else can come and see what you've created and download. Well, these mats are just another product that they have. And so we've created these on the Game Crafter. We're going to test out tonight, seeing what the cubes look like on this mat. There's actually 2. Each one is 24 by 14 inches. So I like 2 for a larger table space, but only 1 is sufficient for a smaller table as well. And we'll make these available. You can purchase them online. I'm going to work with the Game Crafter and probably run what's called a crowd sale, which could make the pricing for these during a short 1-week period, which we'll obviously announce, much lower. So the base price for each one right now is $25, and that's because they're print on demand. This is because we're not mass producing them. That's why they're a bit more expensive. But if we arrange this crowd sale with them, we can get it to the point where if a bunch of you all jump on board and say you all want X number of these mats, we can get that price below $20, possibly down closer to the $10 range during that period of time. Anyway, more to come on that, but we are excited about seeing this first version, and we'll test out different artworks and stuff, but we're pretty happy with the ones that we have here. So that's exciting, I hope. Let's get on to the games. All right, I have 2 different boxes here. The first, I'm not going to go through the full opening of this one because we're going to go through the Deluxe. This is the retail version of the box. And the only real difference between the retail and the Deluxe version of the box is that the retail has the Game Right logo. You all saw that I announced that we have this great distribution deal with Game Right. So the retail copies or the standard copies of the game all have that Game Right logo on a few of the different sides. That's really the only difference. They have their nice Jester logo on the bottom there of the box as well. Otherwise, the boxes are identical with only one other exception, which you'll see shortly. So, just wanted to show you a glimpse of that one. But what we're really going to do is get into this one, which is the Deluxe. Now, I haven't opened anything yet, so you're going to see stuff with me for the first time. Don't be alarmed. If anything in here is still incorrect for whatever reason, we still have the opportunity to resolve some issues. I don't expect there to be many differences or issues at this point, but if something is wrong, we will be able to fix it. Now, surprise number 2, on the top of the Deluxe box, we added a nice little foil Deluxe logo there. We weren't originally planning to print a different Deluxe box from a regular box, but because of the scale of the opportunity that we had with Gamewright, we were able to think of the two as separate printings, and we actually added this nice foil Deluxe tag onto the top of the Deluxe box. So that is printed right on the box, and everyone who has Deluxe will have that special copy. The other thing I want to note, this is going to come in the mail to you this way. The Deluxe, if you ordered the Deluxe copy and you got the complete add-on bundle, which is one of each of the 5 add-ons, we have worked with the factory to put all of those add-ons inside the box. What that means is, though, is that there's going to be a 1/2 inch extra space. Normally the box closes full, as you can see here, but when you have all 5 of the add-ons in there for shipping, it's going to be slightly taller. It's going to be about a 1/2 inch taller. Normally this would be a problem, and you wouldn't want to do this because if another box is put on top, it would crush what's inside. This is not an issue for us for 2 reasons. Number 1, what's really up on the top there is that cloth bag, so that can stress a little bit anyway. But number 2 is the boxes, the crates that these are shipped to us in, are 1 layer only. So there's going to be a row of 5 and another row of 5. You won't have another box sitting on top of this box. You'll be in a larger carton with 2 rows of 5, and then that carton will have padding around the sides. So this makes it work out really well. This actually saved us a ton of money being able to put the complete bundle inside the box. So it was the right economical choice. Alrighty, opening the box. You all have seen, I think, in previous videos and pictures, we have the inside printing on both the box top. Oh, and the bag is in there. Get back to the bag in a second. So we have the nice inside printing. It's probably a little dark here, but that's there. And you'll see the inside printing on the box bottom once we uncover all the stuff that's in there. And with that, I think we are about ready to start going through layer by layer. So the first thing that was at the top is that cloth bag add-on. And this was increased in size. This is now, I believe, 6 inches by 8 inches. It is a nice, soft velvet bag. This was upgraded from the cloth that it was originally going to be, all part of the stretch goals that you were a part of. So nice, comfortable bag to be able to put all of your cubes into, or carry the entire game around in just the cloth bag if that's what you would like to do. I'm going to pause for 1 second and just see if there were any questions that come in. Lily, a request to lock your arms to your chest a little bit more to reduce wobbly camera. All right, very good. Shallow Nerd approves. Awesome. Foil, +1 for the mat. All right, very good. Let's keep going. What do we got? We got 82 people watching. Jeez. I have never had this much of an audience. Cheers, by the way, folks. We are celebrating indeed. We are stoked about this whole production. All right, so the order that the factory put things in, let's see what it is. The first thing at the top are the Deluxe meeples. These are 15 heat-printed meeples. Let's, in proper game fashion, let's drop them onto the table. So these are the heat-printed meeples. 1 for each of the 15 races in the game, heat-printed on both sides. There's our fan favorite, Boblin. And that looks beautiful. It's got a nice gloss to it. It's all sealed very nicely. That is beautiful. We did alter the thickness of these just slightly, and these are now correct. So they have the right weight. They have the right thickness. This is when you are playing with the heroic teamwork mode. You have these meeples, and you slap them into the dungeon in the room that you think the other player is going to go in and loot. And then hopefully they go into that room that you predicted and you get some teamwork points. Very awesome. These look beautiful. I see nothing here at all that needs addressing. Next, we have the stringy thingy. This is custom branded with Dungeon Drop logo in the center. And as many of you rightly pointed out or noticed, it's simply a retractable string, the same kind that you would have if you work at a bigger corporation where you have an ID badge, and this kind of clips onto your belt, and your badge is at the other end, and you kind of swipe it through the door. Well, for us, this works great for people who want to measure and find out exactly which cubes in the dungeon fall in or out of the room. Nice, easy way to just grab a string and see what's what. Beautiful. Next, these are skeleton skulls. Now, these come with a card. I noticed in the box that I got shipped from China, they had two separate things just inside the box. So I'm not sure if that was just a temporary oversight or what, but one of the things in the box was the card for the skeleton skulls. So I'll have to find out. We'll see in a minute if the card's in there as well, or if these were just extras. But these are these adorable skeletons for those who got this add-on pack. Heat printed again on two different sides. So we have the mirror image so that no matter where they fall, you can always see one of the faces on these monsters, these skeletons. We also altered the artwork for these slightly. This is the artwork that works better with the way the heat printing process works, and there can be some drift between the left and the right side, so this artwork is much more tolerant of that risk. Great. Push those to the side. What's next? It looks like we have chests, retail meeples, and some retail goblins and some other cubes. All right, so one at a time here. We got our staircase. That black cube is just the staircase when you're playing with solo mode. These are our 4 meeples for the standard edition of the game, which you all get as well with the Deluxe, but they're slightly smaller, as you can see, than the Deluxe meeples. And they're also custom, so even the retail meeples are really special. They have this like chibi look to them, which is intentional. So those are available there. These chests I am absolutely in love with. Heat printed, custom dice. They're really, I mean, I say dice, but they're just cubes. They're wooden cubes with heat printing on all 6 sides, and it is themed to look like a treasure chest. One of the fans in the community came up with this design. We had a different design ourselves, but we tried out a few different ones, and this design was just stunning. We absolutely love these chest dice. So those are beautiful. Here we have our keys, which open the chests. These are the retail version of the keys, which don't have heat printing. I'm assuming we'll get to the heat printing shortly. These are goblins that don't have heat printing. And these are trolls, grumplins, and draglin. All right, but those are the unprinted versions. I'm assuming we'll see printed versions shortly. And here are some of them. All right, how we doing on the line? Any questions? Did we get the bottle of wine? I'm sorry. You don't. I drink it all. All right, doesn't look like any new questions coming in. All right, what do we got? Now we have goblins, or boblins, grumplins, and draglin. These are the heat-printed versions that come in the deluxe copy of the game. Once again, nicely sealed. There's a nice shine to it. I don't know if you can tell online, but there's a really nice gloss, which is the covering or the lacquering that they do to seal it. These look fantastic. Beautiful. All right. What's next? Oh, yeah. So I pulled these out. These I had been shipped, these were shipped to me earlier from my manufacturer. And you're going to see these now in real time with me. These were our original version of the gelatinous cubes, and they were a little bit more green and not as yellow as we wanted. So we worked with them on the coloring for that. These were the pink gems. Now you can't really tell here, but if I put all the cubes out, this coloring was just darker than we really liked and kind of like uninspiring. They didn't like sparkle and sheen like we wanted the gems to. So we worked with them on that coloring. And lastly, these were the gold cubes that we originally got from China. And I mean, they're beautiful, but they're like a darker gold. They almost have a reddish tint. And the problem is when you put that reddish tint in with all this other red and green, some of the colorblind people watching along are probably already going berserk at that thought. So we said we really want a much lighter, brighter, yellowish gold. So we're going to see that in a minute as well. Some of those are already right here. Alrighty, we got a lot of things in here. First off, our marbleized pillars. Love these. This was a great stretch goal to be adding this marbleized look to all the pillars. That really helps them stand out in the game and be unique. And those made it into every copy of the game, standard and deluxe. Beautiful, love those. Then we have our 2 purple, these are health potions in the base version of the game. Or if you have the deluxe version of the game, then we added all those 6 different types of effects for the mysterious purple cubes. So those are shiny, beautiful purple cubes. Then we have, I noticed here, we have our magic shields. Very light blue, sparkly glitter inside. And these let you go into a room with a big troll or dragon and slay the beast without taking damage. Amazing. I had seen those before. I already knew they were perfect. Now we have our updated colors. Now let's see the 2 side by side. It's maybe subtle to you on the camera, but what I can tell you is the ones on this side here, they just have a much more vibrant pop to them, which is what was super important to us, especially as we add the other gem colors, the clear, the blue, you know, this side over here versus more of the blues and clears over here. These magentas were just a little too dark for our taste. So those came out, and instead we have all of these. Then we have the staple in the dungeon, which is our gold cubes. These are, once again, much brighter compared to the originals that we got. You can tell here just how red those originals were, whereas we wanted them to be much more bright, shiny gold. Part of the reason here, folks, is, you know, I saw some comments online earlier when we posted about the pink gems, and some people said they liked the darker ones or whatever. Part of the problem is that we had to deal with quite heavily for this game is colorblind. This game is a bunch of cubes that you throw on a table and they all mix together. So we had to make sure that as many of the colors were hyper contrasting from one another as possible. And so we did that creatively with the color choice, with sizes. So for example, the goblins and the trolls, their color may not be all too different, but the goblins are always 8mm cubes and the trolls are always 10mm cubes. So that's one way that we work through differentiating. Then we have blue gems and we have blue magic shields. Well, the magic shields have a different texture. They have the glitter inside. So there's different creative things that we were able to do with texture, with color choice, with size, so that we make this whole thing work as best as possible. Anyway, that's part of the reason why we wanted the lighter gems and we wanted the lighter gold. All right, and then the last things that were in this group of cubes here were these green relic cubes. They go with the black staircase, and those are used in solo mode. So, put those to the side. All right, stuff is looking nice. I like seeing everything on the map. Let's keep going. Let's see what we got next. Alrighty, oh yeah. We have our awesome Draglin Metal Limited Promo Cube. That's his face, I believe. This is a heavy metal. You have to feel it to believe it, but this feels so awesome. This is now the 3rd or 4th one that I have in my possession, which I'm stoked about. Rolls beautiful. Not that it needs to roll, but really, really cool, unique, highly detailed. metal dragon cube. And we made sure that it had the black wash so that it really pulls the detail out. If you just have metal, even if you carve in all the details, it's hard to sometimes see those details without what's called a black wash or an ink effect that basically sinks into all the crevices so that the highlights really pop and pull out. And so there's this nice tail. You can really see the detail on this. I'm really proud of how that limited promo came out. Congrats to everyone who got that. Then here are the 2 larger purple cubes. This is for the deluxe edition to go with the 2 smaller purple cubes. Together that makes the set of 4, which lets all of the purple cube effects happen in the game. There's 6 different effects, well 7 if you include the health potion. I will pause for a second, see if there's any questions online. This is awesome. Thank you, JR. Someone was apparently asking if something was a separate purchase. So excited. Love all the cubes and the colors. Good. All right. We'll keep going. What's next? Let's see. Yes, the gelatinous cubes. Also in the deluxe version, those are our gelatinous cubes. So if you can tell, hopefully, on the video, that inside the gelatinous cube is this like goo. Oh, by the way, someone asked, is it actually squishy? No, it's plastic like everything. Don't eat this. It's not edible. But it is awesome looking. It has this like silky goo inside, and that is great. So these were the originals that were a little more green. These are a little like halfway between green and yellow, which is kind of what we wanted for the gelatinous cube. So that's where we landed for those. They land in the dungeon, and whatever treasure is closest to it gets sucked up inside the gelatinous cube. And if you were to go into a room containing that gelatinous cube, you would take both it and the treasure. You take some damage from the cube, but you get the treasure, and you actually get some points for collecting the cube as well. Great. Next up is, it looks like that's all the components. Now we have a bunch of cards and tokens. So let's see what these are. For every one of the races, to match the meeples, we have a scoring token. And the scoring token is used in heroic teamwork mode and in solo mode. So these punch out nicely. Nice little small round tokens, 2-sided. And that's it. So there's 15 of those. There's the 15. There's all those. And some blanks. Then for the retail version of the game, we have the same concept of those scoring tokens for the meeples, but it's for these other 4 standard meeples. We got those 4. And then to go with the solo components, that's the black staircase again, and the green gems, or the green relics rather. We have a relic tracker, and we have 3 pillar tokens. Those pillar tokens are important. They're made to look like the actual pillars, the marbleized effect. Those are important in solo mode because what happens is you're actually in a certain room in the dungeon. And so what happens is you replace the pillars with the 3 tokens for the wherever you are in the dungeon, and you still have other pillars around, but your character is actually going to be in a room like this, and then when you move to an adjacent room, you have to go somewhere that shares a wall. So let's say those 2 pillars there, and you remove that token and replace it with the token for the other pillar that is in the room that you're moving into. That's just a quick little glimpse. The solo mode for this is super awesome. It plays like a truly traditional roguelike is what it's called. An old school style game where you're going dungeon level by dungeon level down as far as you can, collecting as much treasure, loot, relics, whatever it is, before you just die or get sucked up by the dungeon or gelatinous cube. So it truly, it plays... It uses the same core mechanics as Dungeon Drop, but it does play differently, and I highly recommend checking that out. Even if you're not normally into solo, I think because of this game and the way it's infinite, it really adds something to that solo mode because you truly don't know what to expect. Unlike other solo games where you kind of figure out what the engine is, figure out what the best strategy is. Here, the strategy is going to change every time. All right, the next set of tokens we have are our initiative tokens. Nice big round player order tokens. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One of the things we had to do was, it's subtle, but it's the subtle touches that make a really good game, I think. These were backwards. The backs were on the fronts. And the only way you know that is, you can't see it on the camera, but there's a slight, nice, soft bevel on the front of a token. Whereas on the back of a token, if you did that same movement with your finger, you can feel there's like a little ridge. That's standard with every cardboard punch-out. But what you want is the face to be that nice soft side. So we have to switch those. What's next? Cards. So let's open this here. Didn't want to have to struggle with shrink wrap while you were all on, but give me a second. I'll check the computer in the meantime. It's fine. We can manage. Thank you. I regret not getting the string. Kendrick, if you want the string, send an email to support@phaseshiftgames.com. We can update your order manually for a little bit of time. So if folks want to update their order, I closed the pledge manager because we're in the final stages now. But by all means, if folks regret something, we want you to have as complete an experience as possible. So let us know and we can work with you to get something in the order. All right, first set of cards. All right, so first of all, they feel nice and glossy. Here's our player aids. That's the turn order on one side with some nice artwork. And then the list of all the cubes in the game, including the... nope, not including the solo stuff. The solo stuff is in the rulebook. But there's 4 of those. They look beautiful. Everything is perfectly centered. This is the score tracker, which is where all of these tokens are used. First is the heroic teamwork mode. So you're tracking how many teamwork points your character has received versus other characters. If you have the retail version, you use these tokens. And the flip side, it's functionally identical. We just have slightly different artwork. For the solo spelunker mode, there's only one hero in the center of the card because you're solo. And this is now where you would use this relic tracker token to track how many relics you have found as you go deeper and deeper into the dungeon. All right, next we have quests, and then races, and classes. So let's take a look at the quests. To go along with our updated colors, we also updated the colors here on the quest cards to make them a little brighter. Wanted everything to really pop and be easily readable. Another recent addition is we wrote the word score above the number next to each of these gems. One of the common things that came in during playtesting was without that word score there, what people thought they needed, what their quest was, they thought they had to get 3 pink gems and 2 blue gems and 1 clear gem. As opposed to, no, every pink gem you get scores 3 points. Every blue scores 2 points and every clear scores 1 point. So adding that subtle word makes all the difference in the world in terms of teachability of the game. All right. These are looking great. Until I inspect every single one, I have nothing else to comment on for the quests. Then we have races. This is probably what everyone's most stoked about. We have our fan favorite Boblin. Some people didn't realize until they saw some of the pictures that Boblin's init is 0. What does that mean? Boblin goes before every other race in the entire game, which is really cool. So, you've seen these through our Kickstarter. There shouldn't be any surprises here. We did slightly update the font at the top to be just as readable as possible. Maybe the outline around the number changed slightly, but by and large, these are exactly what they have been since the beginning. Then classes. Adept. Archer, Bard, that was one of our unlocks. And again, the font was changed to match. And we just updated the Tinkerer's Toolkit online. You probably saw that in one of our previous updates. which updates the templates to also match the latest font choices, and the fact that we added the word score there, that's all in the updated templates. Great. What's next? Next is, we are getting to the bottom, but we have our Deluxe Edition rules sheet. This is just a very simple explanation of what came in the Deluxe Edition and how to incorporate it into the base game. So a lot of Kickstarters, they kind of just throw everything in the box and hope you figure it out. We really wanted to make sure we were very clear. These are the components that replace other components. These are bonuses. Here's how you use them. So there's no questions. Rulebook, very cute little rulebook. It's 12 pages. I love the size of it. It's just really, really cool to have this 4-inch square rulebook. And really neat that the game can boil down to, you know, something so simple. This page here, Solo Spelunker, has a QR code, and also the website link is below it. So that's how you can get to the page on our website that has the exact rules to play that solo mode. All right, there's a couple frequently asked questions on the back page, and then our credits. A lot of people came together and rallied to make this amazing game, so I wanted to credit everyone. All right, this is the, looks like they included a couple of the deluxe components, the Gelatinous Cube Rules card, the Mysterious Purple Cube card, Skeleton Skulls card, so I guess this one here that they gave me was just extra, and the Prince's Prize, which was the other thing they gave me here. So yeah, all of these will come in your box. Prince's Prize goes with the dragon, the Metal Dragon promo pack. So all of those are in there. Not gonna open each one. And lastly are the sleeves. So these are really nice premium quality sleeves. If you're familiar with Fantasy Flight Games, they make really high quality sleeves. I put these on par with that. They're not the chintzy penny sleeves, as they're called. So if you got the sleeves, if you are like me and many others and you just like to protect everything from greasy hands or whatever, those are in there as well. It's actually the heaviest part of the whole thing. This, unfortunately, pushes the box over a pound, which makes shipping a little more difficult. And inside the box is all the additional fun printing. More goblins, more treasure falling all around. We really wanted to make the entire thing just feel immersive, especially since, for most of us, we're putting the cubes into the box, dumping it out, or drawing from the box, or whatever the case may be. Guys, I don't know if there's much else to show. That was everything. I'd have to go through and look at the original list. I'm pretty sure everything got in there. I will make sure, obviously. But that is where we're at. I am going to check for any questions. I don't know if you can see questions.
Yeah, there's a few.
All right. I think my computer died, so I might need you to tell me about them.
All right, I'm going to go look back. The skeletons, can you still, if they missed out on the skeletons, can they go back and order those?
Yes, you can't order anything online dynamically. You can email support@phaseshiftgames.com, and we'll work with you one-on-one to manually update your order. If all of a sudden 100 people want all sorts of crazy new stuff, I might have to figure something out to optimize the process a little bit. But, you know, we want you guys to get everything that your heart desires. So by all means, email in and we'll take care of it.
A lot of people love how big the cards are.
Some people actually question this, like, why are your cards so big? Mm-hmm. Well, because you only get 2 of them for the whole game, right? Well, 3. You get the quest, you get the race, and you get your class. And it's kind of like, why not? We really love the artwork. We wanted everything to feel big, and there's a simplicity that comes with that as well. When you have a smaller card size and the text, the font size shrinks, it starts to feel maybe like a little bit more of a heavier game, or a little more tedious. And we just wanted this thing to feel really accessible and easy.
Oh, we're getting a lot of questions.
Lay 'em on me.
Do the cards fit nicely when they're in the sleeves?
Yeah, I did it. I did a test the other day with other stuff they had sent me, but I'll prove it. I'll show you now. They essentially fit perfectly. So here's 2. I'll just grab the Isham. Perfectly in there. The spacing on the top, the spacing on the bottom, and the size is almost identical. I don't know what that is, a millimeter, but they fit absolutely perfectly in there.
Everyone's loving the mats. They want to know where they can get the mat.
So the mats aren't available yet. I will make them available on the Game Crafter. That's the site, thegamecrafter.com. They have a bunch of retail games and game accessories. It's a great site. You probably want to get familiar with it anyway. But once we're ready, we'll have these up there available for purchase, one by one, just individual orders. But we're also going to try to finagle that crowd sale I was talking about, so that if we tell all of you, our backers, there's 8,000 of you guys, if even a fraction of you all want one of these mats, if we can get you all to order it within the same week, I can get the price down substantially, I think. So I'm going to work that out with the Game Crafter, make sure we can do that. Usually they do that for games. This isn't a full game, it's just the mats. But there may be other things that we could build in there. Maybe we put some kind of an expansion pack up along with it or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but we want to make it work for you guys. So we're going to need a few more weeks to work that out, maybe a couple months even, but somewhere around the time that you get the game, maybe just before, just after, we'll have that thought out and have some information out to you.
Email?
Mm-hmm. Email me at support@phaseshiftgames.com.
And then could you please show us how thick the cards and sleeves get in the box, please? Very great work. Looks awesome.
Yeah. Well, everything was in the box. Obviously, you saw me take it all out, so I will put it all back. That's fine. Happy to. We'll take all the cards.
When's the expected fulfillment again?
I will talk about that in just a moment. It's all good news. All right, so here are all of the cards and the sleeves, and obviously the sleeves will be on the cards, but thickness is relatively unchanged. And they can all stack vertically inside the box, or you could, lay them flat. Of course, you'd have maybe a harder time getting them out. I like stacking them vertically, and then you can put over on the side all of the cubes and meeples and tokens, and the box closes down completely. So the box is 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches. The cards are supposed to be 3.5 by 3.5 by 3.5, so that's the little wiggle room that's in there, and so on. The sleeves are just about 4 by 4 by 4, just under, so that they fit inside the box nicely.
Okay.
Did I get everything?
So far, yeah.
All right.
Just the fulfillment.
Oh, yeah. So we are on track for our February commitment. We kept it a little close to the vest. We didn't want to get people's hopes up, and it's a good thing we didn't. We have been pushing since the beginning to get this out before the end of the year. I really wanted to have them in your hands for the holidays. Thankfully, we didn't decide to be overly aggressive with commitments. We will have them to you probably before February. But we are, at the very least, we are 100% on track for the February delivery. We had some people telling us we're crazy. We have no idea what we're doing. There's no way we could get the games out in the time frame. Not only are we getting the games out, we're getting about 5 times the amount of games out that we ever anticipated we would have to. Our first print run is 25,000 copies, which, if you're not familiar with the board gaming space, is a huge initial print run. It's all happening. We hope to have the final crates, the pallets, on boats in the water by December 15th. And that's an important date because that's the cutoff for potential new tariffs on China from the United States. So if we get our crates on boats by December 15th, we're exempt from having to pay any new tariff fees. Now that means the boats are in the water for a month. And then there's freight once they hit the docks to our fulfillment houses, and then there's the shipping time from the fulfillment houses to you. So there's some extra time in there, and that's why getting it out before end of year was realistically not possible. But it is the secret date or the secret target that we've had internally. And we, by pushing for that, it really made the February timeline just a breeze. So we are well on track for that. Next.
All right. I think that's it. Everyone's just excited.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Darren and I are super proud. We are proud of you. We're proud that, we're first-time creators on Kickstarter. We've been in the industry for about a decade, but under other brands and doing other things and designing our own games. This is the first time we are trying our hand at publishing. We're here to stay, and I hope that we've done right by you all and proven that we have some really cool ideas. So thank you. Scott Smith, the designer of the game, deserves huge kudos here. And thanks to all of our huge supporters in the industry, other companies we work with, private investors and partners, and just a lot of people that have really come together with us to make this possible. So we're really thankful. We're really proud. Get dropping those dungeons. Thank you all.
And this is 2 mats. That was another question. Those are 2 mats.
2 mats? Oh,
2
yes.
mats.
This is 2 mats, each one 24 inches by 14 inches, which is how I would choose to play it. But you could do just one, no problem, and still be able to drop a dungeon. You might have to, pick a couple off of the outskirts there or put a belt around or something. But 1, 2, that's your choice. All right. Thank you all. Feel free to write in with any other questions or comments. Take care. Bye-bye.